Yo, 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 welcome to episode 18 of the Elite Wrestling Club podcast, where we explore individuals' dreams and the unwavering persistence to achieve them on and off the mat. Hi, I'm your host, and Garrett Mole, the founder of EWC, will be joining us here today for this episode. Basically, we're just going to do a Do Hard Things conference recap. We're looking forward to exploring our experiences and giving you some behind the scenes content from this amazing weekend that we spent out here in Colorado Springs. I think the first thing we really want to touch on is just the background of Zach and how Garrett got to know him and got working with him. So we'll start with that.
Yeah, so I started working with someone named Mike Donatelli. He was a wrestled just in high school. Got in contact with him from my high school coach back home. Started working with him, and it was just super awesome getting to hear what he was kind of working towards as well in his journey in life. And their motto is "Best Day Ever," so something I could really kind of collaborate with and really enjoy as well. So started working with him, and I'd say back in January, I think Zach put out a post saying looking for someone for fulfillment and for clothing. I tweeted back at him right away, just saying I'm your guy. We can get this done for you. Would love to work with you. And
hey, maybe we'll post a picture of that.
Yeah, maybe we'll post a picture of that. And it's funny because I actually sent that and I didn't have my DMs open. So I sent it to him, DM me, and he's like, "Bro, your DMs aren't even open." So he sent me that. I'm like, "Oh shoot!" So right away I went back, opened it, got in contact with him, and it's just been super awesome to kind of do these things with him. And I mean, obviously we're still learning everything as well. So he's super understanding and always giving tips on how we can do it better. So it's been pretty cool.
Before we begin today's episode, we want to give a shout out to our first sponsor, the Wash Bar. Get ready for an amazing car wash experience that's unlike any other. At the Wash Bar, it's all about you, your wash, your way, as often as you like. Customer satisfaction is their top priority. The friendly team at the Wash Bar remembers your preferences, ensuring consistent and high quality service every time. With their easy to use app and online tools, customizing your car wash is a breeze. But it's more than just a car wash, it's a welcoming community. Your little ones can enjoy complimentary root beer while you watch your car undergo its magical transformation. Experience unmatched cleanliness with the Wash Bar's cutting-edge technology. They know a clean car is essential in today's fast-paced world. Plus, you can take advantage of their 24-hour self-service bays, free vacuums, and other convenient amenities. Don't miss out on this exceptional car wash experience at the Wash Bar. Located at 1125 Fountains Way, visit them today for a truly unique and unparalleled car wash. Thank you again to our sponsor, the Wash Bar. Now let's begin today's episode.
Yeah, it was definitely cool, and seeing how he is on social media, it's man, this guy's incredible. We hope he's, what he's made out to be on social media. The authenticity piece comes into it. It's you don't want a guy that says all these things on Twitter and then isn't
Is one way in person, or
right. Yeah, it's but as soon as we met him, we're like, oh my gosh,
this guy's
dude
legit.
is not only legit, but he's so down to earth. It's he's always listening to you. It's not he reminded us of that right away. He was this ain't about me, this is about you guys. I want to help you guys grow too. Yeah. So that was really cool. Just to hear him say that immediately.
Yeah, and that's what I took away from it too. Is if I could describe this conference, it's being authentic and being genuine, and I guess also vulnerable. We heard a lot of stories where they're sharing deep things, even if it's a failure or something they did wrong, and it's that's cool. These people that so many people look up to are sharing those things that maybe we're going through or will be going through. They're not really hiding it to try and put up a profile.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Zach's wife last night, giving almost a whole in-depth description of her past and things that she's went through to then be and this is what I got from it, or and this is hopefully how I can help inspire you to, have the vision and still go and chase it, not let go of the picture of your past, let go of the picture of your dream, because you can step into a new vision, step into a new you.
Yeah. And I think you said it yesterday too, is like sometimes they're speaking to themselves when they say those things. Like, what was it? When she was talking about her past, with her kid and everything, like I think we were leaving in the car, like sometimes that's for them too. It's
Yeah.
like things that they're going through or did go through, and they're just kind of like teaching you guys or us like what helped them. And
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed, like even Doug when he's like talking and after he's like you can just hear it kind of under his breath, man, like man, I needed to hear that myself. And a lot of times people's like speeches are things that they need to hear themselves, so they're using something that they're trying to improve upon and talking about it in a way to not only benefit them but really help the people along that are listening.
yep.
So it's cool. I mean, if you just want to talk about kind of our role here, like what we came here, what we thought it was going to be, and then what it ended up, being.
Yeah, so I know Zach, he messaged me about doing apparel for an online pre-order he's doing on his website, and then also like for some items he wanted at this conference. And with these items that he wanted for the conference, he's like, is this something like you could come to, bring Lance with you, and you could have the booth, you can sell the clothing for me, and get to just kind of connect with people and kind of hear their stories as well. And at first, I know when we were talking about it, we weren't totally sure, but I think we were both just kind of like the why not, and just
Yeah.
jumped on this opportunity. And
For sure.
it was way better than I could have imagined. I mean, I thought we were just gonna be at the booth all week, just selling clothes. And Zach's like, "Don't work too hard. Like, come to the keynotes. Like, come meet people. Come on the hikes, do the ice baths." And so that just an awesome dude and super cool, and super thankful we ended up doing this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was one of the first things he said to us was like, "Hey, like, don't be afraid to get in the ice bath, or don't be afraid to, come on the hike, and you don't have to stand over behind the booth the whole time. Like you can go and network and communicate with people and grow relationships." So that was really cool. And then just like the support that I felt like we had the whole time. Even if something was going wrong, it was like, hey, like it's not your fault, or hey, it's not a big deal. Like we're not gonna if something goes wrong, we're not gonna fire you guys and never talk to you again. It's like people make mistakes. Like it's part of like the process and learning and growing through it. And that's kind of what they wanted to make sure we understood was that they're in it for the long run, and that's really cool for us. It's like we now have these clients that it's not just a one and done thing. It's like it's growing, and then they're gonna keep adding people and recommending us to do that things for them. And then it's like now we're traveling, with other people and doing all these different things. So it was really cool to hear them say that they're also, they really want to help us out too. They're not worried about mistakes, and they know that, we're gonna only improve and only get better as we continue to have these experiences.
Yeah, it's a relationship that goes beyond the tasks that need to be done, whether it's for us or them.
To people, if you want to talk a little bit about that, just your perspective or mindset about like, yeah, we're doing clothes for them, but it's more than that to us, in our company and the message that we want to portray.
Yep. So I think too, like going into clothing and stuff, like it's my first time doing it. I'm still learning as well. But what I found to be helpful is like, don't just be somebody selling clothing, but also provide like the service aspect to it. So like, even if it's maybe outside of my scope of work of doing something, but it's going to help these clients with the clothing and what I want to do, like I'm going to do it because I just want to have like an experience for them that's beneficial. And I think Zach said it's not what you do for people, it's how you make them feel. So like if I'm
that was
when he said that, I was like, oh man. So it's like how I'm not doing this because I want to make money or I want to do this. It's like I want these people to feel good with working with us. Like, man, like people are like, man, you're the man. Like you guys are the clothing guys. Like you're the ones we're gonna call if we need stuff, and that's fulfilling for us. But also to be those people where we know people can fall back on us. Like Lance and Garrett are going to take care of it. Like, oh, we need shirts in 2 weeks. Like, Logan Storley, like, I got an event in 2 weeks. No one else is going to do this for me. They're all saying no. And for us to just be like, absolutely. We got designs within like an hour and got it all set up. And so just that kind of stuff. And I know it's stuff that they appreciate a lot. And I mean, that's what I like out of this work.
Yeah, and then I mean, even the people that come up and they're like, "Oh, like you did this, like let me get a card, like let's set up a call or whatever, and let's get some gear going," and we're like, "Man, this is awesome, this is so cool. Like this isn't what we expected to come here and do. We didn't expect here to come here and like be able to kind of talk about what we're doing and what we are creating here at EWC, and we're inviting people to come be a part of our club. That's one thing we kind of talked about explaining a little bit. Like, yeah, it started with wrestling, and that's the foundation that we built this brand on and this company on, and it's like, how do we make people that aren't necessarily in the wrestling world understand that they can come be a part of our club and still feel welcomed and loved, and know that just because they're not wrestlers or don't have a wrestling background or aren't involved with wrestling right now doesn't mean that, they're not welcome in our club. And that's why, we've been trying to get our name out there with, different businesses and people outside of wrestling, like people on the podcast that maybe that aren't involved with wrestling right now, just being able to spread their message too. And there's just so many great people out there. And, as we learned this weekend, it's like, man, like that's one thing you told me is like, I don't feel like anybody's judging anybody here, like all of our intentions are like so pure, and like we all are here for the same reasons.
Yeah.
We're all like-minded in the sense of, the personal development and, entrepreneurship, growing a business, whether it's, or just enjoying exercise and wanting to do hard things, right? And that's what every speaker ended their message on or started with. It's like, the power behind doing hard things. And, I feel like for a lot of people, they're like, oh, doing hard things, let's go run a marathon. It's like, not always is the hard thing have to do, with the physical aspect. And yeah, that's a part of it. That's how you grow your mental aspect too. But it also is really more the mental aspect, or doing things that are hard or going to be hard, and you're like putting them off, and then all of a sudden it's like, why am I putting this thing off? I've been feeling this nudge for a while, like this is something I need to do. Why have I been turning my back from it? Just because it's scary, or there's so many things that go into our head about doubts or overthinking or guilt, or all these ways it can make us feel. And we ended up running from the thing that was meant to help us break through, right? That's exactly what Zach talked about in his keynote. Is so cool, man. Just hearing that, like, your breakthrough is coming, and it came, like the adversity, the storm, like it's always there, but like your breakthrough is coming,
Yeah. And two, like with doing hard things is like what we talked about yesterday is like that can be easy things too, is like, oh, maybe my hard thing is giving my time not working at night. Like, oh, okay, I need to set limits for myself. Like after 7, I'm gonna be off my computer. I'm gonna enjoy being around my friends, my roommates, my family. Like that could be your hard thing too. It really varies between, I mean, honestly, what you have going on in your life and what you're trying to accomplish. So
100%. I mean, I know you really liked something that Ashley said.
It was we judge others by their actions, and we judge ourselves by our intentions. Like when she said that right away, I think I put that in my phone, and like that hit hard. I'm like, how many times do we, like, if we fail or mess up on something, we're like, well, my intentions were this, like I was trying to do good. But if somebody else did the same thing and maybe didn't do well or messed up, and we'd be like, well, they didn't get the job done, like, or we'd start like pointing fingers right away. And so when she said that, I'm like, wow, like, where am I maybe judging people's actions, but not
Yeah.
my own actions? And what's behind their actions too? Like, why did they do it? Were they meaning good or whatever it is? So,
Yeah.
yeah. Hers and Zach's were just awesome.
Yeah, they were all awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's something unexpected, because I mean, we didn't really know, it's like what is a keynote speaker, like basically they get up on stage and they have this premise, this overarching theme of kind of what they want to talk about, and they go into different journeys and the process of kind of how they got to that premise, like gratitude in the growing pains, gratitude through the growing pains, gratitude for the growing pains. Like it can go many ways, and that's one thing Jay talked about that I really liked, and it's something that it really hit home for me, and I know it does for you too. It's like, unfortunately, in life, things don't go the way that you anticipate them to go. They don't go the way that you expect them to. Like never. And we wouldn't have that perspective of knowing, okay, this is for good, This isn't, as much as this sucks, the situation I'm in right now, like I can still make the most of it. Right? The best thing to happen. The best thing to happen is whatever
things happen for me, not to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. And too, like Jay, so like he was dealing with injury too. And I think right away Zach messaged him and asked him like what was wrong, or like just kind of supporting him. And Jay's like, I won't let this define me. Like I'm gonna come back stronger. I'm gonna come back better. And I remember, I think it was in Zach's speech, he was like, yeah, so after a few months, Jay gets back and starts coming to the gym again. And Zach asks, like, how's your leg, or how's your bad leg doing? And Jay's like, I don't got a bad leg. Like,
Yeah.
I don't got a bad leg. And
Yeah.
when you was saying that, I'm like, that is awesome.
Yeah, that
is cool.
Just that was incredible.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we can relate to. 3 shoulder surgeries. I'm like, dude, this is only for like the good. Like I set out, before this 3rd shoulder surgery that I had, and I was like, whatever it takes, like I'm not gonna be the victim of these circumstances, right? It's like I told myself before even stepping in, I'm like, I was so scared before the surgery that I was gonna fall to the victim. I was gonna, play the blame game. I was gonna become unfaithful to God and lose what I've worked so hard to instill into my life. And the crazy part is it's only grown stronger, that my faith has only grown stronger. Like I'm learning in that every day. I'm setting a priority, I'm setting my routine, and I'm growing, in my relationship with God daily. And that's just, it's so fulfilling for me to know that I have, God on my side, and that Jesus, died for me. And it's like Zach said, the breakthrough happens when you overcome the thing that was meant to break you. Right? So these surgeries, these adversities in life, for us, it's been surgeries and, different things throughout our lives, obviously. But just recently, it's like these things were meant to crush us. These things were meant to deter us from our path. It's like, but no, they've allowed us to make more time for our work. They've allowed us to grow in our faith. They've allowed us to, set goals for our future. And also, one thing it brings to my mind is the conversation we've had about, wrestling, and our identity isn't in wrestling, right? Our identity is who we are. It's not, something that we do. Wrestling is just something that we do. And I think that's one thing we really talked about, yesterday. if you want to add a little bit on that, or if you got any thoughts.
Yeah, so we got some ideas, got a ton of ideas from this week, but we got one thing that we really want to pull the trigger on. We're not going to say what that is yet, as we're still working on it, but we'll slowly start posting on that more. You'll get some more information. But yeah, really, what we're trying to do with this thing that we have in mind is just really kind of like helping athletes, especially wrestlers, understanding like there's more to you than just being a wrestler and what you're doing. Like it's what you do. It's something that's gonna help mold you into the person you're gonna be when you go into the real world after competing and wrestling. And I mean, we kind of talked about that. Something I fell in love, or why I fell in love with wrestling, is more than just trying to be on the top of the podium. It's because of who I've been able to meet within the sport. It's who it's made me become, the things it's kind of driven me to want to do in life, and not just settle for being average, or try not to settle for being average. And so, yeah, we're super excited for this idea we have.
Before we continue today's episode, we would like to give a shout out to our second podcast episode sponsor, Iowa Ortho. Iowa Ortho offers outstanding orthopedic care for local residents and beyond. Their expert teams handle sports injuries, arthritis, and more, all to improve your comfort and quality of life. With 9 convenient locations across central Iowa, setting up an appointment is a breeze. Visit their website at www.iowaortho.com or call 515-247-8400. While you're there, check out their state-of-the-art body composition scan. It is perfect for athletes at an attractive price of $40. Choose Iowa Ortho for top quality care and convenience. Experience their exceptional service firsthand. Visit their website or call to arrange an appointment. Thank you, Iowa Ortho, for your support. Let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, I mean, let's take them through a little, like day by day things that we kind of instilled, and we'll just let our conversations flow from there. So I mean, first day, obviously hopped on a plane out of Des Moines, flew to Denver. It's kind of funny because we got to the rental car place and we were like, oh man, I wonder what car we get. And she's like, is it just the two of you? And we were like, yeah. And then I was like, what is she? Why'd she ask that? Does it depend on how big our car is or what kind of car it is? I was like, oh no, I hope she doesn't give us a little slug bug or something, just like a little 2-seater. But no, she was like, oh, if it's just you two, I'm not worried. So we ended up getting a Dodge Charger. It was
Red.
It was red Dodge Charger. It was super cool. So we got to roll in style, a little bit down here. So we drove straight to the church, Peak City Church, and
like walking in. So like again, I've only talked to Zach and his team over email, phone calls, and text.
Yeah.
And walking in, like I was nervous. Like again, like I didn't know like how they were in person, if it was different, if it was whatever compared to what they are on social media. So I walk in and right away they're like coming up to us, like hugging us. Like It was like we knew them for years.
Right.
And that's like the first thing I remember when we first walked into that church.
Yeah, and that goes back to exactly what he said, right? It's not about what you say to people, it's how you make them feel. And he instantly made us feel something that we will, cherish and remember forever. It's like, man, what more can we do for this guy,
Yeah.
And that's the community that he's trying to instill through this Do Hard Things is, man, this guy made me feel really good. Okay, now what can I do for him? And then what can I do from that to also encourage others,
Yeah.
And how can I make them feel that way? Right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, first day, going back to that, like, so we meet everybody, we're seeing where everything is, all the setup, and then we're going to the booth, starting to count inventory and line things up and make it look nice. And I think our question was, like, how do you build this type of, like, team or community you have with the Do Hard Things? And he was like, it's a ton of just pat on the back, like, Lance, good job, man. Like, even if it's
just finding the little things. Right?
Yeah, like that's even if it's just something small,
like energy.
Yeah,
like oh, dude, you brought the energy today. Just a little, fist bump or whatever.
Yeah, like just whatever it is. Like if you can, again, it just goes back to making how you make people feel. Like if you're doing that all the time, people are just gonna want to be better, want to do things like more than just what they're asked to do. And
Right. Yeah.
that's exactly what you saw this week. Like, there wasn't one person just doing their job. They did it. If they were told to do it at this level, they did it at this level.
Yeah.
And that was cool.
Yeah, and that's what we felt. We're like, oh, man, our level's here. I feel like right now, if like, unfortunately, the quality and care of things like aren't up to our standards, so we're like, oh shoot, like, even though it's not our fault, like it's our responsibility, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh dude, don't worry about it. You guys are crushing it. Like, you guys are the best in the game. Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah, there was things that they could have nitpicked about us. I'm sure other people they had working this week, like,
yeah,
it'd be so easy to say what was going wrong, which is what a lot of people do. Like, we look at things that went wrong in our day, but instead of that, they decided to choose what did we do right as a conference, or what did that person do that added value. Like they said, it was year 2. Like, they suck at this still.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and,
that's what he said.
and I couldn't believe when he said that, but I'm like, this is awesome. Like,
yeah, he's like, you think we have this figured out? Like,
Yeah.
it's year 2, dude.
Yeah.
We still suck.
yeah. So imagine when it's year 5 or 7 or 10. Like, imagine
Yeah.
what this is gonna be. So
Yeah, it's gonna be something pretty cool, pretty special. Like he said yesterday, he's like, this is eventually gonna be something that's really hard to get into. There's gonna be a waiting list,
Yeah.
like, So I guess I would encourage, our listeners to go check out Zach Homol and his team, Mike and Adam, and all these people that we've mentioned, Ashley and Jay and Tyler and Ryan. There's so many people that
just everyone there, dude.
right. I mean, go check out their message. Go check out the things that they're doing. They all have websites. They all have Twitter that they post all their things on. So I encourage you guys to go check out their message and really see what they're about.
Yeah. And if you guys are interested for next year too, like, just reach out to Lance and I, and we can help get that set up for you.
Yeah.
Like, so if you want to come with us, or if you just want to go by yourself with a group, like, just reach out to us, and we can help you with that.
Yeah, I mean, then after, we were like, oh, let's go get some snacks. We're probably going to need some snacks. So we ended up going to the store, and we came back, got our Airbnb set up. And we were kind of worried because it was like the first night, and we hadn't checked in, and it was like 10:30 because we didn't get out of there till late. So we were like, oh, she messaged us, and she was like, hey, the door will be unlocked. Everything is ready for you guys. I think she was probably like, man, I can't believe these guys aren't here yet. But yeah, I mean, we got all settled in. It's kind of cool, where we're situated. It's about 15-20 minutes away from the church, but it's like up on a mountain hill, and it kind of overlooks the city a little bit. So the landscape's pretty cool. I know Garrett was pretty fascinated when we got here because you can see kind of all the city lights, especially when it's dark out.
In the woods, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so then day 2, what they do with the schedule is pretty cool. So basically at 10 a.m. everybody met at the church and did ice baths, and basically the message behind that is like suffering together, right?
Brings you closer.
You like, not even thinking about it, you let down your guard. You're like, man, we've all done this together. Now we can socialize, communicate more. And I know that, they kind of figured that out this weekend too.
Oh yeah, they even said we have that planned so perfectly. We're like, and I mean, I felt it too. We were filming it all and just observing, and like, you could see the energy change. Like, everyone came in there not knowing each other.
Yeah.
And then as soon, like, there were 2 ice baths, you could fit 2 people in there. And as soon as like that line just kept going and going and going, you could see everyone's just kind of guards go down and started like talking. The energy was awesome, and it was pretty cool to see that stuff too.
Yeah, it was
like, you could see it worked, like, just like that.
Yeah. So then after that, we had a few hours. I think we ended up leaving there around noon. We didn't have to be back till 3-ish or something like that. So we ended up going to Garden of the Gods. And we just walked around a little bit, got some content, took some pictures, just enjoyed our time out here. And that was a cool experience for us, just to be able to go out there and like have some free time. Like, that's one thing that, again, we didn't anticipate having. We're like, we're going to be kind of working, go. We didn't really anticipate to be like hey, like you guys can go have fun too. Like you don't have to sit around and just work the booth. Like, here's 3 hours. Go out. Go enjoy the views, the mountains, the hike, whatever it is you want to do. So
Yep.
I don't know if you had anything you wanted to add on that second day, but
Yeah. So I mean, second day, like Lance said, we went kind of explored. That's what's cool about this conference is it's like you get a lot out of it, but you also have time to do your own things, whether
yeah,
it's just with who you came with or if you meet another group and want to go with them. But yeah, then we got back. We had dinner, had some Chipotle, and then man, who was the first? Who was that
we had
first?
Alex Feinberg. He talked about the kingpin.
Yep, we had him. Super awesome to hear his story. Professional baseball player.
Yep.
And kind of learning how he kind of dealt with maybe the reality of life after competing. Kind of like where we're going, I guess,
Yep.
we're
Yep.
heading right now. And super awesome to hear his story. Then we had another break, and the next one was Tyler. Was it
No, it was Jay.
Jay? Yep.
Then we had Petey, and then
Yep.
Tyler at the end.
Yeah. So it was.
So our two keynotes were Jay and Petey. And Petey's the pastor of the church at Peak City, and Jay was, like we mentioned earlier, the gratitude and the growing pains.
Yep. And then PD's was kind of like, let fear be your compass. That's what I got out of that.
It was more of that, and then in order to be the man you want to be, you got to leave behind the man that you are.
Yep.
So.
And then, too, what I got out of it was like when you change as a person, like people aren't always going to see where you're heading and try to be really quick to like pull you back into what you were maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So being okay with that and change sounds nice, but I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. So
yeah. Well, too, and just, I mean, making sure that you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people, with people that support you, right? Mm-hmm. People that want the things that you want, or even more for you than you do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that we talked about that, like holding each other accountable, moving forward from here, in the things that we want to invest in, maybe more time doing different things with each other or with our company, or maybe it's holding back on different things that we feel like maybe we shouldn't be doing, and putting our time in other places, and just talking about accountability. And that's what's so important about having like-minded people that you're surrounding yourself with, because you all have the same goals and aspirations and the same vision. And if your vision is not exactly the same point towards the same goal, it's still a process, it's still a journey. There's still going to be adversity. You have to have people willing to pick you up when you're down and make sure you're doing okay, and all these different things. So
yeah, so those guys were awesome on the first like official day of keynotes, and then the last one was
Tyler.
And his was more so just kind of like financial advice, and like how you could set yourself up if you're a business or an individual looking to do things, and how you can get funding for that, and just different ways that you can kind of set up your business to find some success. And that was super cool too. And something to add, I want to make sure I highlight is like nothing felt like pushed on us, or like nothing felt like was being sold to us, and there was just no like kind of like game behind what they were doing. Like it was literally just, we're gonna come up here, talk to you, help you, and that was it. There was nothing like, hey, like here's my Venmo, or here's how you can book with me all year. It was just like that's all.
But they even said that, that's what was cool. They got up on stage and they're like, yeah, I'm the one up on stage, but it's not about me, it's about you guys. You know what I mean? So that was just super cool too.
Well, yeah, like even Jay, like, so he said he was going through a rough period in business, and he's like, the clients just weren't coming. All these events just weren't really working out like they should. And he's like, I had this event going on, or this retreat, and I was making no money. He's like, I had to do this knowing I wasn't going to come in with a profit or make anything, honestly. And he's like, but these people paid their hard-earned money that they're earning.
Believed in me.
He's like, if I don't give them my everything, like how bad of me to do that.
Right.
He's like, that's not how you do it. He's like, that's what kept me in that fight of showing up, doing a good job, not letting my life affect their experience here. And
Yeah. One thing we talked about too that he really talked about was pay now or pay later, suffer now or suffer later. You know, similar sayings there. It's just like, you know, you're gonna either way you go, there's gonna be a decision you have to make that's gonna make you pay. Would you rather pay now, suffer now, or would you rather wait until later when your circumstances might be different, but they could be worse, you know, they could be better. How do you know? You know, so are you going to choose to pay now, or are you going to wait and, you know, put it off? And, you know, kind of like what I was talking about earlier, that was just that really hit for me, I guess.
And finally, before we wrap up this week's episode, we want to thank our last sponsor, Mulligan's Brick Oven. Prepare for a delightful dining experience filled with incredible flavors and lasting memories. Mulligan's offers a warm and friendly ambiance that both locals and visitors love. Their menu boasts creative dishes with a focus on brick oven pizza and progressive pub fare. Each dish is prepared with care for unparalleled quality and flavor. And don't forget their extensive beer menu, carefully created to complement their cuisine. Mulligan's is open from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., Sundays through Wednesdays, and until midnight, Thursdays through Saturdays. So you have plenty of time to enjoy their culinary delights and a diverse range of beers. Discover a whole new world of flavors at Mulligan's Brick Oven Pizza. Thank you again, Mulligan's Brick Oven Pizza Grill and Pub.
yeah, and Zach, he explained it really well. Like he had a picture of like this dude, and like half his body was like in shape, and the other half was like obese. And they both said like suffer or suffer, and it's like both are suffering in a way. Like you're choosing your heart in life, like whether you're choosing to go to the gym, like that's hard, or if you're choosing not to go to the gym, and then you're dealing with health issues or whatever it is, like that's hard as well. Like so, like in life, you have to choose your heart, what you're willing to, I guess, live for or sacrifice, and what you're willing to suffer for.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, that really wrapped up day 2, and then, you know, yesterday was day 3.
Did a hike in the morning.
Yeah, started out with that hike in the morning at Red Rocks Open Space. You know, 9 a.m. It was about, you know, two and a half hours. Ended up, you know, round trip. We kind of stopped and, you know, mingled a little bit when we got in that open space at the beginning. But you know, it was good to get out and see some nature a little bit. And, you know, walk and get some exercise in. You know, something different. And it was all still together, right?
Oh yeah, like again, like half those people all those people honestly we met for the first time, never spoke to them or anything like that, and like it just felt like a hike with our buddies, like just like we've known everybody, everyone's like talking to us. Talked to Jay for a little longer too about some big UFC guy.
Yep.
Big UFC guy, and again, just super awesome. Got pictures out, or Zach's out there taking pictures of everybody.
Yep. Polaroids.
Polaroids, handing them out, and I think he almost cried when we did the group photo or something like that. Yeah. He's like, just could have never imagined this happening, or just all these people like coming to like my event, or not even his event because he wouldn't word it like that. Just like as a group coming together.
Yeah. Choosing what they want to suffer for, you know.
Yeah.
The hard things.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, you know, like that was cool too. Is like talking with everybody. It was never like this is what I do. This is what I've done. This is how much I made or what I do. Like how important I am. It was all like, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm trying to do. These are my ideas. So it was never like an ego, like trying to build your ego, or it was never trying to like one up somebody. It was just like, here's my ideas, what I'm trying to do. Then someone else would come tell theirs, and like, okay, like maybe we can collaborate then. Like we had a few of those. Like, how can we kind of intertwine with each other? Like, these are my passions. These are your passions. Like, let's see if we can mix this together and like elevate each other. Right. That's what I got out of it.
Unearned confidence is ego.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Zach.
Yeah. So, you know, then again, after the hike, we had like, you know, 3.5 hours or so. So we went to Old Colorado City, walked around, and and we went to downtown, Colorado Springs, and got some lunch, hung out for a little while, and we were pretty beat at this point. We were getting pretty tired, pretty exhausted just from um, go all day, So we ended up pulling into the church parking lot about 30, 40 minutes early, and
Got a little nap in.
Garrett got a little nap in. All of a sudden I look over and he's snoring. I was like, well, I ain't sleeping now, so no, this is messing around. But
You just got some more rains.
yeah, I went. I was like, I'm just gonna go get some caffeine for us for when he wakes up. So, and then getting back into the church, we had another keynote, Ryan, and then we had the back-to-back
Ashley.
wife and husband duo, Ashley Homol and then Zach Homol. If you want to talk a little bit about their speeches more or anything.
So going to the first one was Ryan. He's another person that came up to us asking about apparel and hoping to work with him on his stuff here soon. But his main message was like using endurance sports to better yourself, like whether it's a 5K. He's like, doesn't like your endurance can be what it is for you. Like if it's a 5K, if it's a 10K, half marathon, triathlon, Ironman, whatever it is, like let your endurance be your endurance and you can get so much out of it. He's like, it's such a mental game. But he was talking about like what I say to this client can be totally different than this client.
Right.
They're doing the same thing, but it's like what works out of their schedule. If they got to get in the pool at a certain time, like are they near a pool? Like do they have to do it in the morning, night, like all these different things. So it's kind of like what we do in wrestling too. Is like, what is your routine for getting down to weight or the night before a tournament, after a tournament, like
too. And then as you start to make these changes in your life, that's another overarching theme. It was like as you start to make these changes in your life, like there's going to be people that want to bring you back to who you used to be or who they knew you as. And then you're going to have people that want to come along with you. They see you working out for 2 months hard or going for a run 3 days a week or, even just going for a walk, once a week. It's like eventually you build up the consistency. You can start doing more.
Build that confidence.
Build your confidence, right? And then now all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, now this person's reaching out to me and they want to come work out with me. Or they want to go for a run. Or they want to go to the gym. Or whatever it is, it's like, and that's how you can use your life to leave an impact on others, too. And that he didn't really talk about that part, but I noticed that that's kind of what he was getting to. It's like the changes you make in your life can help others or can encourage others to make changes in theirs.
Yeah.
So
and he talked about too, like he had a good job, like he did it. I think he walked in right away and he's like, this is not my purpose. Like, is this something I want to like do? I think I'm made for something bigger than myself. And he's like, waited it out a couple more weeks. He's like, no, this is not for me. He's like, went all in on doing the tribal training stuff, and just super cool to hear that too. Is like, kind of going into our next speaker, Ashley, she talked about what picture are you holding on to in life? Like, what vision in your life are you so set on being perfect or working out that it's maybe taking away from other things that you could be doing or opportunities you could be having. And I think that's exactly what Ryan kind of felt too, is like, maybe I'm holding on to this picture of this perfect job I got right away. Being young, making good money, secure job, like show up when I just have to and do whatever I want to later. And just like, no, like this is not me. And now look at it.
It's letting go of who you used to be and setting into your new vision and who you want to become. That's, that was the takeaway that I had. It's like we all have these visions and things in life that we dream about, and it's like, oh, this was my dream though, like I can't let go of it, but then something else comes along and nudges you, and you're like, hey, maybe you should try this, or maybe you should do this instead, or whatever it is, whatever you feel, whatever the thoughts about this new thing that comes up that you're avoiding are, it's like, how can you just dismiss those? Maybe that's your new calling. Maybe that's your new adventure. Maybe that's your new job, or maybe that's a new hobby. Whatever. I mean, whatever it is for you.
Yeah, I mean, he started off doing dog collars. Like he would design dog collars
Yeah.
and sell it on online, and like eventually he's like, yeah, I'm making it's like somewhat whatever, doing well, but I mean, this can't obviously be something I do
Right.
long term. But I mean, he wouldn't where he is now. I guarantee he wouldn't take that away if he could to do
No.
what he is doing now, because he's like, that was part of the process that made me who I am. I was able to learn how to communicate better with people, kind of like how to work with maybe different suppliers if you had to, or stuff
Yeah.
like that. And
Whatever happens is the best possible thing that could ever happen.
yep, if a closed door or a door closes, don't look at it as a failure. Like maybe that's just putting you in a new direction of something even
Right.
better.
And leaving another door
Yeah.
open.
Yeah, and you still have the experience from
Yeah.
wherever you came.
Exactly. And then really Zach finishing up the keynote, and then the Q&A was really cool too at the end. I think Zach's message was just, it kind of encompassed all of them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I almost felt like it was like bits and pieces from each one, and he kind of made it into his message, and then used that to really hone in on what he believes in, what he's trying to do. So he shared that Chinese proverb that we were talking about.
Yeah.
All of a sudden we were like, dude, we were talking about this on the way here. This is cool that that's made such an impact in his life, and that perspective of just wait, we'll see, kind of having that.
Yeah, maybe good luck, maybe not good luck. Well, I guess we're gonna see.
Yeah.
And two, he started off super in a way that I'd never seen before, where like he started just pointing to people, like just randomly, like you could see he was just looking in the crowd, just point at him, and he knew exactly what they were going through, what they did go through, where they want to head towards, and he's like, your breakthrough is coming. Like,
yeah,
he
that
knew,
was super cool.
he probably, if he had the time, he probably could have pointed to every single person and known about them, and had something awesome to say to him or them. And
so their background and what they went through and what they've overcome, and how that's shaped them into who they are now, and knowing your breakthrough is coming, right?
Yep.
So
it was never about him, it was about everyone, like they always said this week.
Yeah, there is opportunity and adversity for those who seek, right? So you can make an opportunity out of any situation you end up being in. I thought that was a really powerful message to hear. There's adversity, there's always going to be a storm coming, right? It was almost like a poem he kept going back to.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, again, going back to his background, he was a coal miner making over 6 figures, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and so I mean, again, a comfortable life could have been fine without doing what he is doing now. But again, he's like, I have something bigger in my life. Like this is not what I want to kind of just do my whole life and just kind of sit around or whatever it is. And again, he started off, I think the next idea was cleaning gutters.
Yeah, gutter cleaning.
Yeah, gutter. That was his next one before gym. Did that for a little bit. Again, just didn't work out, and kind of went all in with the gym here. And he said he was thinking about putting it in his shed eventually, but he's like, nah, we got to do this right.
Yeah. Iron Valley Barbell.
Yeah.
So go check that out too if you get the chance. Man, I think that's really all I got. If we want to talk a little bit about our ideas or visions, and kind of wrap up this episode and go from there.
Yeah. So again, like I said, we have something coming out. We want to engage with you guys a little more. Get to know like our community again. Like that's our biggest thing is after seeing kind of what Zach created, that's something we want to create with you guys. And so again, we have something super awesome to look forward to. Super excited to start connecting with you guys. And then, obviously we have some more things in store that we're not going to be sharing with you right now. But here shortly, we're super excited to
Yeah, I
kind of
mean, just
review
stay
and
tuned.
yeah,
You know
just
what I
stay
mean?
tuned.
We got some big news coming. We're looking forward to the new challenges along, the journey, and we're looking forward to taking the necessary steps and building this community and this company and what we've created here even bigger, and also growing personally. You know
Yep.
what I mean? So using our personal lives to get more content for you guys, whether it's tweeting, Instagram, making reels and that stuff, but just allowing you guys to see kind of our personality and who we are as people too. So stay tuned for more of that kind of content.
Yeah. I mean, I think other than that, we're just gonna keep trying to do what we've been doing, just keep adding to it. I mean, again, this was way better than I could have ever imagined. This conference, like I got
Yep.
way more out of it. I know you did too, and
Yep.
I think we were heading in the right direction. But I think this conference is going to be a huge reason for our breakthrough that's coming. And I mean, I know it's coming.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a long time coming, and I'm super excited for the things that are finally kind of falling into place here.
Yeah, man. Me too. Exciting things are coming. Just want to say, thank you guys for listening to our episode. We found, today's episode valuable for us. So, we hope that you guys can see the value in it and enjoyed our conversation. To stay connected with us, you can hit the subscribe button to never miss an episode. We release new content every Monday. You can also leave a review on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. Your reviews help us reach more listeners and provide valuable content. You can also visit the Elite Wrestling Club website and follow us on social media for questions, topic suggestions, or to connect with our community. If you love this episode, donate to us using our Elite Wrestling Club PayPal located on our Elite Wrestling Club podcast website. Go to elitewrestlingclub.store, click podcast, and then hit the podcast website button in yellow, where you will see the donation heart in the top right corner. We just want to give a special shout out to Matt Bowman and his donation. There was a few other people, Arch, Allison,
Parker,
Vern, my parents, Garrett's family, my aunt, my grandma that contributed and really made this conference attainable for us, and just know that it was appreciated, and we're very grateful for the support.
Thank you to Zach, Ashley, Jay, PD. Who else?
Yeah. I mean, just the whole team out here at the Do Our Things conference. It was an awesome experience, and we're looking forward to the future and what that has in store for us. Whether the adversity comes in and takes us out, or new visions come in the way, and either way, we're going to keep marching forward, putting one foot in front of the other, and have gratitude through the growing pains and the good pains in life too as well. So exciting episodes are coming. Stay tuned to join us next time for more inspiration. Thank you guys for being a part of the Elite Wrestling Club podcast world. Keep exploring within to inspire others.